Meaning of a heart, Yamashita treasure sign. One of the most common and repeatedly asked questions is about the meaning of a heart Yamashita treasure sign. Heart signs that were left behind by the Japanese Imperial Army can come in two different forms. The first type of form is that heart sign can be in the form of an engraved symbol. It can either be engraved on surfaces of rocks, and on bodies of old large trees. The second type of form is that the heart sign can be in the form of a rock, or stone bearing the shape of a heart. Before we proceed on the meaning of a heart sign, I would like to inform you that heart signs, particularly heart-shaped rocks, or stones, is very commonly encountered around. You can easily spot one, especially when you are on areas with a lot of rocks, or stones. Thus, it is important that you should be able to distinguish authentic heart signs from those that are not. It is expected that experienced treasure hunters already knew how to distinguish authentic Yamashita treasure signs, but for the amateurs, they most likely do not know. It really can take some experience before an amateur can correctly spot a legit sign or marker. So, if you are an amateur treasure hunter with little to no experience at all, what I suggest you to do is to look for additional signs or markers nearby. If you managed to find at least 2 or more additional signs, then that would be enough to consider the heart-shaped sign you found as authentic. But what if you only found one sign or marker? If there is only one sign or marker present around the area, then you need to closely study it and make sure that it is no doubt a man-made sign or marker. So if this is the case, then you may consider the heart-shaped rock or stone as an authentic Yamashita treasure sign or marker. Now, let's proceed to the meanings. Every time that when somebody asks me about the meaning of a heart sign with no further additional details about it, what I often respond is its general meaning, which means hidden large treasure deposit. However, this meaning can change, or becomes more specific, depending on the influence of other signs or markers that are present around it. Anyway, what really makes a heart sign quite interesting is that it gives you an estimate idea about the volume of the hidden item, which can be very motivating for you to work on it. Heart treasure signs can actually be discovered on the ground surface, or buried under the ground. Those that are found on the ground surface are more likely interpreted with the meaning pertaining to the volume of the hidden treasure deposit. As for the buried heart sign, it may have a slight and much better meaning, that it even provides hint to the exact location of the hidden item. Assuming that you have uncovered a heart-shaped rock sign under the ground at a certain depth, it actually offers a much better meaning than those that are found on the surface. It's because it also indicates that right underneath it is the treasure deposit spot. Thus, all you have to do is to continue your diggings once you managed to uncover such type of particular sign or marker. A much accurate type of heart sign, indicating that the item is buried underneath its spot, is a heart with a dot or hole inside, particularly at the center as shown on this illustration. We have already covered the meaning of a dot, or hole in the other previous video, where it often represents the hidden item. When combined with a heart sign, the dot confirms the spot as the digging spot. Dots, or holes, can also be replaced by X, which is still interpreted with the same exact meaning. What if there are multiple heart signs or markers? On some cases, heart signs or markers can also be interpreted like an arrow sign. As shown on this illustration, the pointed tip of the heart can be treated similarly to the pointed tip of an arrowhead. Going back to the question, presence of multiple heart signs, or markers, is best interpreted by treating them as arrow signs. Let's say for example, that you found 3 heart signs on your prospected site, as shown on this illustration. What you have to do is to follow their directions, and determine their common intersecting spot. Let's plot the common intersecting spot of these 3 hearts, by simply extending their directions. As you can see, all the lines meet together at one spot. Thus, this will be the digging spot. What if the heart signs or markers do not have a common intersecting spot? Let's say on this example, that you have found these 4 heart signs on your excavation site. If you are going to take a close look and study their directions, you will notice that each of them leads to the locations of the other succeeding heart signs or markers. When it comes to the exact location of the digging spot, there are 2 possible options. The first option is to follow the direction pointed by the last heart sign, and hopefully there will be another sign or marker which finally confirms the digging spot. If there is none, then proceed on the second option, where the last heart sign is the digging spot. What if the heart signs or markers are pointing towards some random directions? If it happens that you encountered heart signs or markers that are simply pointing towards some random directions, then they are not meant to be interpreted as directions. Again, presence of other types of signs around is pretty much needed in order to clarify their meaning. However, let's assume on this example that you completely surveyed the entire area, and you did not find any other presence of signs or markers. On this case, your final option is to plot the locations of the heart signs, and analyze what type of figure can be formed. On this example, the heart signs form a triangle. If you are going to ask the location of the digging spot, then there is a very good chance that it is at the center. Next to the center are the 3 corners. Anyway, based on my experience, it is very rare to encounter just a group of heart signs or markers. They are actually more often accompanied by other different type of signs that provides further specific details about the location of the hidden treasure deposit. Perhaps the meaning of heart sign that is often overlooked by most amateur treasure hunters is hope and patience. This actually means that you are dealing with a treasure deposit that involves a lot of hard work. So in order for you to succeed, don't ever lose your hope, and you must have an endless amount of patience. In short, never give up. Did you enjoy watching my video? If yes, and if you are new to my channel, then you may want to subscribe, like this video, and hit the small notification bell icon. By subscribing and hitting the bell icon, you will receive alerts or notifications about my new published videos. If you want a reading material about treasure hunting, then you may want to visit my blogging website at treasurehunt.club. Thank you very much for watching, and happy treasure hunting.